Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Many WWE names returned or debuted at the Royal Rumble. Alexa Bliss, Trish Stratus, and Nikki Bella were among the prominent stars who popped up in Indianapolis. One full-time name that's dominated programming was Solo Sikoa. After running roughshod on Raw and SmackDown, he hasn't been seen since the SmackDown after he lost his Tribal Combat match against Roman Reigns. Why did the Tribal Heir miss one of the biggest PLEs of the year? Solo Sikoa may not have returned at the Royal Rumble for the next 5 reasons. 5. His planned absence extended past WWE Royal Rumble. After so much time dominating time on SmackDown, missing the Rumble could have been part of the plan for Sikoa's time off. Roman spends more time off programming due to current plans for him and the rest of the roster. Since Solo was heavily featured throughout 2024, his planned hiatus could have prevented him from missing the Rumble. This allowed other stars to get some TV time in his absence. Fans started to root for Reigns simply because he was gone, and someone else filled the void. WWE may be hoping for the same with Sikoa. 4. Highlighting the newest thread. One reason Solo Sikoa may not have returned at the Royal Rumble was so that it could have allowed Jacob Fatu more of a spotlight during the event. Without Sikoa leading the new bloodline, Fatu stands out even more than he already did. His unhinged nature grows more and more prominent with each passing week. The longer Solo stays out, the more the Samoan werewolf can get over as a menace and legitimate threat. WWE may have to tweak that a bit since the crowd chanted for him after he brutalized Braun Strowman. 3. Selling the severity of losing Tribal Combat. Solo may have also not returned at the Royal Rumble to continue the sell job of losing the Tribal Combat to Roman Reigns. He could have retreated to gather his thoughts after losing such a high-profile match. Sikoa took his best shot after challenging his cousin and still lost. He had no words and simply walked off through the crowd instead of addressing the situation. The Tribal Chief ceremony was supposed to take place before the Royal Rumble, but the plan was changed. Whenever it does happen, Solo Sikoa can still show up and finally acknowledge Roman. 2. Spacing the multiple returns around the Royal Rumble. Another reason they could have saved his return is because they didn't want to overshadow AJ Styles and other big names like Joe Hendry that popped up during the match. There can only be so many returns without one overshadowing the other. It's likely the reason why Charlotte Flair's return was announced weeks before the Royal Rumble. Her spot was anticipated so as not to take all the focus away from Alexa Bliss, Nikki Bella, Trish Stratus, and other surprise entrants. Some returns need to be saved for the episodes of WWE Raw and SmackDown after big PLEs. Solo could return on Raw or SmackDown and congratulate or reconcile with Jey Uso. 1. He's planning in secret and will return with The Rock. Sometimes, time off is not only used for self-reflection. Roman Reigns is gone more than he is present, but does he plot and plan every time he's away from WWE? Since he took a shot at the Tribal Chief and lost, Solo can go several ways emotionally. He can accept defeat and acknowledge his cousin, which is what he said he would do if he lost. Or Solo can continue to run over the roster to force another massive stipulation match with Reigns. By losing to his already over cousin, Solo lost much of his credibility. Coming back with The Rock by his side after months of plotting and planning would be another huge wrinkle in the never-ending bloodline drama. It would make sense of whatever Rocky did on Raw on Netflix since he completely changed his tune from 2024. The Bloodline saga continues to evolve in WWE, with Roman Reigns' absence creating a power vacuum that has yet to be truly filled. However, the emergence of Jacob Fatu has introduced an unpredictable wild card to the equation. With Solo Sikoa missing from WWE television for an extended period, speculation is running rampant about what's next for the Bloodline. Could Solo's absence be part of a larger plan? Is a major swerve in the works? As Jacob Fatu continues to assert dominance, here are 5 possible reasons why Solo Sikoa has taken a prolonged absence from WWE, and how it could all lead to a shocking twist in the Bloodline's ongoing story. 1. Internal family power struggle. Solo was forced out. When Roman Reigns took his hiatus following SummerSlam, Solo Sikoa assumed command of the Bloodline, making executive decisions without the Tribal Chief's oversight. He handpicked Jacob Fatu to strengthen the faction, but little did he know, he was introducing a force he might not be able to control. Jacob Fatu's arrival sent a clear message: the Bloodline wasn't just a Reigns operation anymore. Fatu's destructive in-ring style and presence immediately garnered respect, but it also raised questions. Was Fatu truly loyal to Solo, or was he answering to someone else? Reports emerged that Solo had a tense backstage segment with Paul Heyman before his disappearance, suggesting that even the Wiseman wasn't entirely on board with Solo's leadership. Could Solo have been forcefully removed from his position? If Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa have taken over the bloodline, was Solo seen as a liability rather than an asset? His absence could be the result of an internal coup, a message that Solo was never meant to be the true leader in Roman's stead. 2. Personal betrayal, Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns' secret plan. While Solo Sikoa appeared to be running the bloodline, the truth may be that Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns had a different vision for the faction. Heyman, the mastermind behind many of WWE's most shocking betrayals, may have played Solo for a fool. What if Solo's absence isn't by choice? What if he was set up? Jacob Fatu's loyalty to Roman Reigns may be greater than anyone expected. If Roman and Heyman had planned for Fatu to step in as a more violent, dominant figure, Solo may have unknowingly walked into a trap. Heyman has a history of orchestrating betrayals to ensure the bloodline stays strong. If Solo was ousted because Roman and Heyman saw a better enforcer in Jacob Fatu, it would explain why Sikoa has vanished from WWE programming. The eventual reveal of this betrayal could set up a heated war between Solo and the bloodline upon his return. 3. Solo Sikoa's injury, a deliberate cover-up? There's always a chance that Solo Sikoa's prolonged absence is due to a legitimate injury. If that's the case, WWE might be using the situation to build an elaborate storyline around his return. While no official reports confirm an injury, WWE has a history of keeping real-life injuries under wraps to protect ongoing narratives. Solo was involved in multiple hard-hitting matches leading up to his absence, and if he suffered an undisclosed injury, this could explain why he hasn't been seen. However, WWE could use this as a kayfabe cover story to make his eventual return even more shocking. Imagine Solo returning with revenge on his mind, targeting Jacob Fatu, who has now positioned himself as the enforcer of the bloodline. This could be WWE's way of keeping Solo fresh while allowing Jacob Fatu to build credibility before their inevitable showdown. 4. Solo Sikoa's transformation, a new look, a new agenda. Sometimes, prolonged absences lead to reinvention. Could WWE be rebranding Solo Sikoa? It wouldn't be the first time a Bloodline member underwent a major change. Jey Uso became main event Jey after breaking free from Roman Reigns. Jim Uso took on a rebellious role before aligning with the Bloodline again. Solo Sikoa could be undergoing a similar transformation. Perhaps he returns with a different look, a new attitude, or even a new allegiance. Imagine a scenario where Solo Sikoa doesn't return as a member of the Bloodline, but as an enemy. Maybe he finally sees through the manipulation and decides to align himself with another faction or go solo, pun intended, as a ruthless lone wolf. If WWE wants to give Solo a fresh start, a long absence followed by a major character overhaul could be exactly what they have in mind. 5. Roman Reigns' return, the Bloodline Civil War is coming. The biggest possibility surrounding Solo Sikoa's absence is that WWE is strategically keeping him away until Roman Reigns makes his long-awaited return. Jacob Fatu's arrival has already changed the Bloodline's dynamic, and if Roman comes back to see that his faction has been taken over by a different force, a power struggle is inevitable. Solo Sikoa might be WWE's secret weapon for this story. Imagine if he returns alongside Roman, revealing that he never truly lost faith in the tribal chief, but was instead gathering intel on Jacob Fatu's true intentions. This could lead to the Bloodline Civil War, where Roman and Solo attempt to take back control from Jacob Fatu and his crew. Or, in a shocking twist, Solo could refuse to fall back in line, setting up a scenario where all Bloodline members are at war with each other. With WrestleMania season approaching, WWE could be positioning this Bloodline drama as the biggest storyline heading into 2025. Final thoughts, is WWE planning a major swerve? Solo Sikoa's prolonged absence is no accident. Whether it's due to a storyline betrayal, a forced removal, an injury, a character reinvention, or Roman Reigns' return, WWE is clearly building towards something big. The addition of Jacob Fatu has injected fresh energy into the Bloodline saga, but his presence might be setting the stage for Solo's greatest test yet. When Solo Sikoa finally returns, will he be seeking revenge? Will he fall back in line? Or will he carve his own path, leading to an all-out war within the Bloodline? One thing is certain, when Solo Sikoa re-emerges, WWE will never be the same.